or stories, because there's more than one of them, surround a St Andrew's landmark that people visiting the town and locals alike probably pass by every day without really noticing that it's there. It's called the Blue Stane. Along the west end of St Mary's Place, on the corner opposite Hope Park Church, and behind the railings under the pub sign, you will see a large boulder with a blue tinge to it. This boulder is called the Blue Stane, and it has many myths and legends about giants and fairies attached to it. My first story concerns how the stone came to be there in the first place. Many years ago, when St Regulus was building his four-corner tower, or square tower as we know it now, there lived a giant with his mother in a cave at the back of Craigs, a few miles out of the town. Now, this giant was in the habit of wandering up to the top of Drumcarroll Crag on a daily basis and enjoying the view out over the sea and watching the fishermen bringing their fish in. But when St Regulus built that tower, the giant reckoned that he'd spoiled his view. So he decided he was going to knock it down. So he broke off a bit of the crag and threw it in the direction of the tower, but his aim wasn't very good and his strength wasn't very good, and it landed far short in what was to become the grounds of the Mount Melville estate. So he stomped on back to his cave and borrowed his mother's apron, thinking it would make a braw sling. So he stomped back up to the top of the hill and he broke another bit off. And he wrapped it in the apron, and using the apron strings, he whirled it about his head. But this boulder didn't quite make its mark either, because in the process of whirling it round his head, the apron strings broke, and the boulder landed short of the town walls, somewhere in Double Dykes Road. At one point in its history, the Stane was moved from Double Dykes Road to its present site. But it wasn't got rid of, because you see, that blue Stane became the stuff of legend. They say it became a meeting place, a place where young couples would visit on the eve of their wedding in the hope of making a successful match. And they say that the local folks, the men, would always give it a wee pat on the way past, and the women would give it a wee curtsy when they went past. Yes, it was viewed by all and superstition by all. They even say that the pikemen of St Andrews, on their way to the Battle of Bannockburn in 1314, all passed by the Stane and touched it for luck. It probably did bring them luck. But the most famous stories surrounding the Stane are its connection with the wee folk. They say that the hill where Martyr's Monument now stands was once a fairy hill. And the legend says that the wee folk, on special occasions such as midsummer or midwinter, they would walk in a procession from the fairy hill to the Blue Stane, where they would party and celebrate. Twa old St Andrew's worthies, it is said, found out just how true the connection between the Blue Stane and the wee folk was. One was a fisherman, cried Davy Duthie. He had a naughty braw wife. So bonny was she, in fact, that the fairies took a liking to her. And one day, as she was passing the Blue Stane, she was wheeked awa to fairyland. Now, Davy Duthie was that upset about this. He visited the Stane every day. And although he could hear her singing to him to somewhere above him, he couldn't see her. But then one day, as he stood by the Stane, he just happened to put his hand on it and stand on one leg, just like hen's day when it's raining. And this broke the enchantment. And before his very een, his wife appeared again, sitting on the Stane. Well, Davy had a brother called Archie. He was a plewman, stayed out Strathkinnis way. And he was a bit of a drunk. He liked to visit the alehouses in the town, and his wife, well, she always nagged him about it. And one day, as he was making his way home to Strathkinnis, after visiting quite a few of the alehouses in the town, he paused for a minute to rest by the Blue Stane. And he was thinking about all the nagging he was going to get when he got home. And he minded what had happened to his brother's wife. And so he said out loud, "I wish the fairies would come and take my wife awa." Well, when he got home that night, he found that the fairies had, in fact, taken his wife awa, wheeked her awa to fairyland, where she was treated like a queen and lived for mony a year. But she missed her Archie, and so she persuaded them to let her gang home again. But before she left, one of the wee folk gien her a stick and says, "Now as long as you hae this stick, that man of yours, Archie, 'll never touch a drop o' ale." And you ken what? It must have worked, because Archie became a sober man and never did touch a drap of drink again. Well, that's my wee stories about the Blue Stane of St Andrews. So if you bide here or you're coming here to visit, take yourself along to the end of St Mary's Place and hae a look at the Stane. But just be careful. Dinna go making ony wishes while you're touching it, because you never ken what might happen. Bye for now.